Naomi lost her husband and sons. There was a time when Israel didn't have kings to rule over them, but they had leaders to help them.
This is a story about some things that happened during that time. There wasn't enough food in the land of Judah, so a man went to live for a while in the country of Moab. He was from Bethlehem in Judah. His wife and two sons went with him. The, the man the man's name was Elimelech. Elimelech. His wife's name was Naomi. The name of his two sons were Mahlon and Kilion. They were from the tribe of Ephraim. Their home had been in Bethlehem in Judah. They went to Moab and lived there.
Naomi's husband, Elimelech, died, so she was left with her two sons. They married women from Moab. One was named Orpha, the other one was named Ruth. Naomi's family lived in Moab for about 10 years. Then Mahlon and Kilion also died. So Naomi was left without her two sons and her husband.
Naomi and Ruth returned to Bethlehem. While Naomi was in Moab, she heard that the Lord had helped his people. He had begun to provide food for them again. So Naomi and her two daughters-in-law prepared to go from Moab back to her home. She left the place where she had been living. Her daughter-in-law went with her. They started out on the road that would take them back to the land of Judah.
Naomi said to her two daughters-in-law, "Both of you go back. Each of you go to your own smaller home. You were kind to your husbands who have died. You have also been kind to me. So may the Lord be just as kind to you. May the Lord help each of you find rest in the home of another husband."
Then she kissed them goodbye. They broken down and wept loudly. They said to her, We'll go back to your people with you."
But Naomi said, "Go home, my daughters. Why would you want to come with me? I am going to have any more sons who could become your husband. Go home, my daughters. I am too old to have another husband. Suppose I thought there was still some hope for me. Suppose I married a man tonight, and later I had sons by him. Would you wait until they grow up? Would you stay single until you could marry them? No, my daughters. My life is more bitter than yours. The Lord's power has turned against me."
When they heard that, they broke down and wept again. Then Orpah kissed her mother-in-law goodbye, but Ruth held on to her.
"Look," said Naomi, "your sister-in-law is going back to her people and her gods. Go back with her."
But Ruth replied, "Don't try to make me leave you and go back. Where you go, I will go. Where you stay, I will stay. Your people will be my people. Your God will be my God. Where you die, I will die, and there my body will be buried. I won't let even that separate you from me. If I do, may the Lord punish me greatly.
Naomi realized that Ruth had made up her mind to go with her, so she stopped trying to make her go back.
The two women continued on their way. At least they arrived in Bethlehem. The whole town was stirred up because of them. The women in the town asked, "Can this possibly be Naomi?"
Don't call me Naomi, she told them. Call me Mara. The mighty one had made my life very bad. I was full when I went away, but the Lord has brought me back empty. So why are you calling me Naomi? The Lord has made me suffer. The mighty one has brought me troubles on me.
So Naomi returned from Moab. Ruth, her daughter-in-law from Moab, came with her. They arrived in Bethlehem just when people were beginning to harvest the barley.
Ruth met Boaz in the grain field. Naomi had a relative on her husband's side of the family. The relative's name was Boaz. He was a very important man from the family of Elimelech.
Ruth, who was from Moab, spoke to Naomi. Ruth said, "Let me go out to the fields. I will pick up the grain that has been left. I will do it behind anyone who is pleased with me."
Naomi said to her, "My daughter, go ahead." So Ruth went out to a field and began to pick up grain. She walked behind those cutting and gathering the grain. As it turned out, she was working in a field that belonged to Boaz. He was from the family of Elimelech.
Just then Boaz arrived from Bethlehem. He greeted those cutting and gathering the grain. He said, "May the Lord be with you, and may the Lord bless you." They replied.
Boaz spoke to the man in charge of his worker. He asked, "Who does that young woman belong to?"
The man replied, "She is from Moab. She came back from there with Naomi." The young woman said, "Please let me walk behind the workers. Let me pick up the grain that is left." She came into the field. She has kept on working here from morning until now. She took only one short rest in the shade.
So Boaz said to Ruth, "Dear woman, listen to me. Don't pick up grain in any other field. Don't go anywhere else. Stay here with the woman who works for me. Keep your eye on the field where the men are cutting grain. Walk behind the women who are gathering it. Pick up the grain that is left. I've been told the men not to bother you. When you are thirsty, go and have a drink. Take water from the jars the men have filled.
When Ruth heard that, she bowed down with her face to the ground. She asked him, "Why are you being so kind to me? In fact, why are you even noticing me? I'm from another country."
Boaz replied, "I've been told all about you. I've heard about everything you have done for your mother-in-law since your husband died. I know that you left your father and mother. I know that you left your country. You came to live with people you didn't know before. May May the Lord reward you for what you have done. May the Lord, the God of Israel, bless you richly. You have come to him to find safety under his care.
So I hope you will continue to be kind to me, Ruth said. You have made me feel safe. You have spoken kindly to me, and I'm not even as important as one of your servants.
When it was time to eat, Boaz spoke to Ruth again. Come over here, he said. Have some bread. Dip it in the wine vinegar.
She sat down with the workers. Then Boaz offered her some grain that had been cooked. She ate all she wanted. She even had some left over. Ruth got up to pick up more grain. Then Boaz gave orders to his men. He said, "Let her take some stalks from what the woman have tied up. Don't tell her she can't. Even pull out some stalk for her. Leave them for her to pick up. Don't tell her she shouldn't do it."
So Ruth picked up the grain in the field until evening. Then she separated the barley from the straw. The barley weighed 30 pounds. She carried it back to town. Her mother-in-law saw how much she had gathered. Ruth also brought out the food left over from the lunch Boaz had given her. She gave it to Naomi.
Her mother-in-law asked her, "Where did you pick up grain today? Where did you work? May the man who knocks you be blessed."
Then Ruth told her about the man whose field she had worked in. The name of the man I worked with today is Boaz, she said.
"May the Lord bless him," Naomi said to her daughter-in-law. "The Lord is still being kind to those who are living and those who are dead." She continued, "That man is a close relative of ours. He is one of our family protectors."
Then Ruth, who was from Moab, said, He told me more. He even said, Stay with my workers until they have finished. Bring me in all my grain.
Naomi replied to her daughter-in-law Ruth. She said, "That will be godly for you, my daughter. Go with the women who work for him. You might be harmed if you go to someone else's field."
So Ruth stayed close to the woman who worked for Boaz as she picked up grain. She worked until the time when all the barley and wheat had been harvested, and she lived with her mother-in-law.
Ruth and Boaz at the threshing floor. One day Ruth's mother-in-law Naomi spoke to her. She said, "My daughter, I must find a home for you. It should be a place where you will be provided for. You have been working with the women who work for Boaz. He is a relative of ours. Tonight he will be separating the straw from his barley on the threshing floor. So wash yourself, put on some perfume, and put on your best clothes. Then go down to the threshing floor But don't let Boaz know you are there. Wait until he has finished eating and drinking, not where he lies down. Then go over and uncover his feet. Lie down there. He will tell you what to do.
I do everything you say, Ruth answered. So she went down to their threshing floor. She did everything her mother-in-law had told her to do.
When Boaz had finished eating and drinking, he was in a good mood. He went over to lie down at the far end of the grain pile. Then Ruth approached quietly. She uncovered his feet and lay down there. In the middle of the night, something surprised Boaz and woke him up. He turned and found a woman lying there at his feet.
Who are you? He asked.
I'm Ruth, she said. You are my family protector, so take good care of me by making me your wife.
Dear woman, may the Lord bless you. He replied, you are showing even more kindness now than you did earlier. You didn't run after the younger men, whether they were rich or poor. Dear woman, don't be afraid. I do for you everything you ask. All the people of my town know that you are an excellent woman. It's true that I am a relative of yours, but there is a family protector who is more closely related to you than I am. So stay here for the night. In the morning, if he wants to have you, good. Let him have you. But if he doesn't want to, then I'll do it. You can be sure that the Lord lives. And you can be just as sure that I have you lie down here until the morning.
So she stayed at his feet until morning, but she got up before anyone could be recognized. Boaz thought, no one must know that a woman came to the threshing floor.
He said to Ruth, bring me the coat you have around you. Hold it out. So she did. He poured more than 50 pounds of barley into it and helped her pick it up again. Then he went back to town.
Ruth came to her mother-in-law. Naomi asked, "How did it go, my daughter?"
Then Ruth told her everything Boaz had done for her. She said, he gave me all this barley. He said, don't go back to your mother-in-law with your hands empty.
Naomi said, "My daughter, sit down until you find out what happens. The man won't rest until he settles the whole matter today."
Very good. Maratona, né?